And I said, your hand's always broken. You ain't known for your punching power since you moved up from lightweight to welterweight. Why are you so sure you're going to do this?
It's wild, because, like, if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight.
Go off of that, Floyd is the best fighter, in his era. And I feel like I'm the best fighter in my era.
Floyd Mayweather calling out Terence Crawford by saying that today's boxing world limits certain fighters while exaggerating others. He believes Crawford deserves more recognition because of his skills and accomplishments. Stephen highlights that age plays a factor, and Mayweather is no longer in his prime. According to him, the narrative should focus on Crawford's dominance, rather than unnecessary comparisons or hype that take away from his true greatness.
Think about what he had to say about you when he said, you're way better than Floyd Money Mayweather. I know you heard that he said that. What thoughts came to your mind when you heard that Canelo Alvarez said that about you?
Hey, that's a big compliment. He's been in the ring with both of us, so he would know, from his own experience. A lot of people, they can say this, they can say that, but there's only, a few people that can say they've been in the ring with Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather and give their own.
Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather by pointing out that Crawford is naturally the bigger fighter. He noted that Crawford's size and strength give him an edge that Floyd never had at welterweight. However, Mosley also recognized Mayweather's advantage in technical sharpness and precision. Floyd's mastery of defense and ring IQ allowed him to overcome disadvantages against larger opponents, something Crawford doesn't need to worry about as much. Mosley's take highlights that while Crawford's physical dominance plays a role, Mayweather's legacy was built on pure skill and adaptability.
Do you think's better out of those two, Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. He's actually, he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather's really good too, though. You can't knock him as well. He's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because he's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely a technician. I mean, like Crawford said, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford, this is his era.
In an interview with Ariel Helwani, Terence Crawford reminded fans that Canelo Alvarez is in a unique position to judge. Having shared the ring with both Mayweather and Crawford, Canelo's view carries weight. Terence pointed out that their fights happened under very different circumstances. Floyd faced a young, inexperienced Canelo, while Crawford fought him as a seasoned champion at 168 pounds. Despite the size difference, Crawford prevailed, proving his strength and ability against a much bigger opponent. For Crawford, Canelo's acknowledgement that he felt more power from him only reinforces the claim that greatness belongs to different eras.
It was cooking right there because there was this thought, this prevailing thought that the smaller man always loses to the bigger man. This was repeated time and again throughout the fight week. And he proved that that's not the case. Again, I hope you all recognize this was a 168-pounder fighting a 147-pounder. He had one fight at 154 last August. Was the undisputed king at 147, beating Errol Spence in July of 2023. Came back the following year. Fought Israel Madrimov at the soccer stadium in Los Angeles, and then did everything he could to get this fight, played his cards the right way, and there he was, standing face to face against Canelo Alvarez, who did seem for the longest time like he didn't want to take this fight, and because there was great risk involved, because not only is Terence Crawford one of the all-time best fighters in the history of the sport, he's smaller than him, so a lot of people would be like, oh, of course you're going to beat the smaller guy, right? But I think Canelo recognized, yeah, he might be smaller, but he's that damn good.
Trainer Greg Hackett took a different stance by emphasizing that Floyd Mayweather was a complete fighter when he fought Canelo. According to Hackett, Floyd's style at that stage was polished, disciplined, and unshakable, something that Crawford's wilder and more aggressive approach doesn't fully match. Hackett argued that Crawford relies on explosive counters and adaptability, but Floyd's mastery was about flawless execution from start to finish. While he respects Crawford's achievements, Hackett believes Mayweather's version of perfection against Canelo was still something unmatched.
The Floyd Mayweather that Canelo Alvarez fought.
Yeah.
In the last version of Terence Crawford that we've seen in the ring.
Yeah.
Who's the better fighter, Jay?
Of course you got to give it to Floyd. Floyd at that time, Ben, what's up? Floyd at that time versus Canelo was in total confidence. His skill set, his IQ, you know what I'm saying? Everything he do, he was just a complete fighter that night. But I feel like was up against a lot because he was fighting a guy that we knew something about, but we didn't know too much about. People don't understand how much a fighter could be thrown off by what he don't know. And the reason it throws you off is because you're actually learning about the fighter while you're in there. That's what Bud went up against that night. That's why he didn't look so great. To me, I could be wrong, but he didn't look so great to me because he was learning a lot about Madrimov while he was in there with Madrimov.
Max Kellerman analyzed the contrast in how both fighters approached their careers. He explained that once Floyd left the lightweight division, he became extremely selective with opponents, making sure every fight was strategic. Crawford, however, has taken a different route, often fighting whoever was available without hesitation. This has made Crawford appear more daring and risk-taking compared to Mayweather's calculated matchmaking. Kellerman argued that this difference doesn't take away from Floyd's greatness, but shows Crawford's willingness to challenge himself across divisions and against dangerous opponents.
It's wild, because if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring him. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first fight, I didn't, but then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, he wanted it with everyone the whole time. That makes a difference to people.